All right, here now to talk more about the state of the Republican Party in California and in Orange County is Fred Whitaker. You saw him in the story there, chairman of the Orange County Republican Party. Paint a picture of your party in your eyes.
Well, in Orange County, our party is actually pretty robust. Some of those numbers that you had there at 39%, that was from the beginning of the year. Since the beginning of January to April 30th, we're actually up now to 40.3%. And in the first 4 months, we out-registered the Democrats by 2,500 voters. They're doing a little bit better in this last week, but as we go into the primary, both sides are working very hard to register voters.
Let's just say it has been a changing election year by the moment. I can see one issue, the Republicans, was a very hot race at one point, and now you have the situation with Donald Trump, the candidate that's going forward for your party. The Democrats still in play.
Absolutely.
Did you think that would be the case?
No, we thought we'd have a very robust primary. And with now having a coalition coming together in the primary, we're now focused on our targeted seats, which are the legislative seats in the Senate District 29 and Assembly District 65, and focusing on that in Supervisor District 1 rather than the presidential election.
Okay, so you're talking about the down ballot candidates.
Right.
Let's just focus on Donald Trump for a second.
Sure.
Your party, Orange County, where do you stand on Donald Trump?
Well, the party will always support its nominee as an institution. We understand that it was a really hard-fought primary, and lots of the supporters of the other candidates may still be bruised, may still have policy issues with Donald Trump. We're looking at what is the possible rather than where people can or can't do things. So we're really focusing, especially as we go into the primary, on the down ballot races, because some of them are just so, our school board race is one and done in June. Our supervisor's race is 50% plus one in June. So we really are focusing on that, and that we think will help you bring people together. I also think Donald Trump did a very good job in the last day or so with his list of potential Supreme Court nominees, and that's probably reaching out to the conservative movement to help bring them aboard. And I think by November, certainly the party will be unified.
Solidified his stand on that issue. My question for you is, how concerned are you about Republicans getting out to vote, given the national issue is not the hot issue we thought it would be going into the June primary?
We're going to have to work harder in June, simply because we don't have that natural pull from the presidential campaign to get people out to vote. But some of these races are so important that I think our people will be voting.
Let's talk about then the state issues, because you and I were talking in the back room there, and it is an important issue for the state races. Why for Republicans?
Well, in 2014, we pulled the legislature back from a Democratic supermajority by winning 4 state assembly seats and 1 state Senate seat. We need to maintain that, and because if you have 2/3 in the legislature, like the Democrats did 4 years ago, you can pass tax increases under the California Constitution on your own with nobody else's support. So it's important for us as a low taxation party to make sure that we have a say in that.
Well, let me ask you this. Where do things stand now in the state situation on that topic? And then what are your concerns for the election?
Oh, my concerns are that if you have the state legislature go back to 2/3, you're going to see a promotion of the increase of the extension of the increase in the personal income tax that was voted on a few years ago. You could see other taxations, simply like Prop 13. There's a lot of talk about going to a split roll taxation, which would make commercial properties subject to constant reevaluation. Would be devastating for the economy. So for us, it's very important to hold these legislative seats. If you look what happened in the last session, because we had these legislators, not a single tax increase proposed by the Democrats was allowed to go through. And so the California economy is starting to rebound, we believe, because we're holding the line. Okay,
so you're saying Republicans matter in this election. I'm sure to get your donors on board an easier task, your volunteers on board an easier task. But the voting public, how do you reach them on this?
Well, you have to reach a voter where they're at. And so for most voters, a lot of local issues matter. We've canvassed in Orange County in the Assembly District 65 and Senate District 29 in the last 6 months, 45,000 households. The number one issue for them is jobs in the economy. Number two issue for them, and most of these are in ethnically diverse areas, heavily Asian or heavily Latino, education. The Democrats have to support the education establishment, which really isn't performing well, especially for kids in poorer areas in Anaheim, Fullerton, and Buena Park, Santa Ana, some of those areas. And so we're actually for educational choice, charter schools, And we're actually on the side of the parents.
So you're out there on those core issues that you think can make a difference. All right, Fred Whitaker, thank you very much for coming in from Orange County, making the trek up. We appreciate it.
Happy to do it. Thanks, Christine.